Welcome back. We're going to talk about BP static kill. I'm sitting here looking at some photos, and it looks like a big mess of just massive concrete. I don't really know how this is going to work because the pressure mass index of the power of, from underground coming up through this small pipe, it ends up opening this mass index of intense pressure, which can possibly kill people. It will kill people. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to put enough tons, and it has to be tons of cement, into this hole. And I'm looking, they just covering the whole thing with, the whole rig is covered with cement. So I guess it's a special cement that can survive in a saltwater environment. And they say the final cementing started today. One of the weirdest things that you also know is that because of the hurricane that came through, most of the oil dispersed. You can't see it anymore. It either went through the jet stream, or it evaporated into the sky, or it was picked up by the precipitation and carried off, and probably has already been dropped off somewhere else. So that's kind of a good news. It's bad news for BP because the millions of dollars lost of oil could possibly cause the price of gasoline to go up. Here in Ohio, 2 days ago, it was $2.53 for 1 gallon of gas. Today, it is $2.78. And in the same day, it was $2.53. It was $2.53 that morning. 3.5 hours later, it was $2.79. Gasoline is the one thing in the United States that we don't have control or can regulate prices. When you go buy corn, you get corn, 4 ears of corn for $1. A sale comes on. It's that's 25 cents each. Now it's 19 cents each. The price of corn does not go from 19 cents to $1 each in one day, but gas does. I think that's one of the problems because there's only a few companies that have gas. It's almost a monopoly. And what ends up happening are these countries aren't concerned about the people. They don't care about what's going on. It's all about how much money they can make. I mean, think about it. Because of a political strategic situation, gas went up to over $4 in some states and towns when President Bush was still in office. Now it's kind of gone down, but now it looks like it's going to go back up. Why is this always back and forth strategic struggle? Today, it's just been released. Majority of us, either have a septic system or a conventional sewer system through the waterworks department wherever you live, which is government controlled. They filter the water that comes through. They try and reuse the water. Well, what if I told you your excrement, your human waste, can now power a car? There is a Volkswagen Beetle that can do 144 miles per hour. It can go 10,000 miles before it needs to be refilled. And it's converting the excrement into some form of methane and other gases, and it comes out clear. It's not like it's a farting car and it's going to stink as it goes down the road. That was part of the problem. They couldn't get the odor out, and they couldn't, convert all the parts of a car to run off of excrement. Depending on what...
I'm sorry, but when you said that, I just want to say, oh, you're full of poop. That ain't real. That was just my thought that come to mind.
I think it's a good idea. We have hydrogen cars, we have electric cars, and now human waste cars.
Poop cars.
Poop cars.
That's why I'm calling them.
Just put a toilet seat on it and poop in it and it goes, right? I don't know.
I go ride the poo-poo. Instead of the po-po, we're going to go ride the poo-poo. There we go.
Miranda's going to ride the poo-poo. Well, that's fine by me. I don't care.
Hey, think about how many people, how much human waste is a day. I mean that's
some of the breaking news that's going on. I just don't understand why, that's the other thing. You got people in California suing because cows burp too much, and it's causing, what do they call it?
Methane gas.
Methane gas explosions, and I'm like, I haven't read no methane gas explosions from cows burping and farting. It just doesn't happen.
But remember the burping gun I found on the BBC?
Yeah, there's a burping gun. That's something else Brandon, pointed out.
You don't know what it is. I'll share with them. On the BBC, I have no idea why they thought this is news, but it's British television. I guess it's news to them. But in Britain, somebody has created a burping gun. It's a laser gun where you point the sensor on a cow's mouth or their behind or wherever. Mostly it's their mouth. And when they burp, they register how much methane's coming out. And ironically, they do not point it at their butts most of the time. They say cows seep out the methane through their mouth. That's what they said on the video. So
there's a burping gun. That's how much methane you got. On another note, talking more about the economy and society, we know unemployment is only 99 weeks. But now, July, 131 jobs were lost. And May and June combined were 97,000 jobs. Now they found out it's not true. It's over 100,000. And those that are still unemployed on unemployment are over in the millions. One of these things just doesn't belong here, folks. Hello, if you ever watch,
one of these things just doesn't
kids
belong
show.
Here.
I think society in America, I controversially say extend unemployment again, because here's what's going to happen. Those that ran out the 99 weeks, and if you've seen the Dateline NBC show here in Ohio, 9 months study prove that people are not lazy and don't care. There are just no jobs, and the jobs that are there barely get them by, because a lot of these companies go out of business, or they're part-time work, and they got kids, whatever. I'd say extend unemployment, because you know what happens? Those that have ran out of unemployment get on welfare. What would you rather have? Unemployment, which pays more, which gives them an incentive to find a decent job, or give them welfare? It's the same thing. Unemployment and welfare is pretty much the same thing. It's just a little different. And economists and society don't want to talk about this. The suicide rate has gone up in America. Food stamps has gone up. Medicaid's gone up. Social Security's gone up. They say in California alone, 1 out of 6 people or more say they have mental distress and need pills. Xanax, Celebrex, whatever you want to call it. And they are on, 1 to 4 people are on psychotic medical type drugs in California alone. And you wonder why. Well, they ran out of unemployment and they can't get on welfare because they had too much money when they were on unemployment.
They can't find a job.
They can't find a job, but things are getting better. So what are Christians supposed to do in this society? Where do we fit in the mix? How do we honestly move forward into what we're supposed to do and the direction that we need to be? Quite simple. We're supposed to meet the needs of the people. Understand the people. You don't need a nonprofit to help people. You don't need some kind of license to help people. You're supposed to help people. What did Jesus say? He said love. Well, to love someone, I can't just sit here at home all the time and love people. I can tell you online all day long to love people, but if I don't go out and do anything, the whole Corinthians chapter talks about love, love, love. Well, how do you love people? You reach their needs. You help them out. Yeah, we have neighbors who want cigarettes and drugs and stuff, and we don't provide their frivolous, stupid needs. I'm talking about food and housing and work.
Clothes.
Just now, I text someone before the show 3 addresses of apartments. Why? Because I want to try and help people. I can't do everything on my own, but I can certainly, because of the power of the internet, I can Google just about anything. I can't give you everything. You're going to have to do work too for it. I don't give people a handout. I give people a hand up. And get a hand up, that means you got to be able to come up to my level and grab my hand and stand up on the ground where I'm at. I'll meet you on the ground where you're at, but I'm going to try and pull you up to mine. But we can't do that without working together. You have to work together. You have to understand the directions and the points that people place. Because when you don't, you run into these societies and these situations that is insane. It takes things out. So we're going to take a break, folks. When we come back, I'm going to talk more about what's going on in Iraq, some other things, and some other controversial subjects. We'll be right back.